tonight.
How do we know you're a competent driver? How do we know where you got your license from?
Families angry after the province relaxes regulations on foreign truckers.
This is a win for me.
The jury returns its findings in the inquest into the death of Haven Dubois.
This was a rigged, disgraceful trial.
And former U.S. President Donald Trump is found guilty on all charges in his hush money trial.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Thursday, May 30th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams in for Sam McKeag. Thanks for joining us tonight. Families of Humboldt Broncos crash victims say they worked for years to get better regulations in place for foreign truckers. But a recent change by the Saskatchewan government is coming as a shock to them. Aishwarya Duda reports.
Adam Harold was one of the 16 people killed in the 2018 crash when an inexperienced truck driver went through a stop sign at a highway intersection near Tisdale, Saskatchewan. Another 13 people were injured. His dad, Russell, pushed for changes to the trucking industry.
Well, it seems like a betrayal from, I think we were one of 24 families that signed on to that petition for the government at that time to not loosen up the regulations.
In the aftermath of the Humboldt crash, the provincial government promised to change the rules. In 2021, all foreign truck drivers were ordered to go through mandatory training to get a Class 1 license. But now, the province has relaxed the rules for temporary foreign workers in the agricultural sector, allowing workers from 40 countries to drive on their home country's license until next May.
I can't believe that we would just because you have the license, we're just automatically going to take your word for it. And how do we know you're a competent driver? How do we know where you got your license from?
In 2018, SGI said it believed mandatory training would mean fewer people killed or injured. The minister responsible for SGI now says the change was made to help farmers get through the growing season. We reached out to Agricultural Association of Saskatchewan, but no one would comment. Saskatchewan Truckers Association also declined an interview, saying it didn't have enough information.
What we're trying to do here is correct that balance between ensuring that we're having licensed, trained people behind the wheel of heavy equipment, but also trying to provide some balance, particularly for this industry that does rely on temporary foreign workers.
The driver of the truck involved in the Broncos crash, Jaskirat Singh Sidhu, was sentenced to 8 years in prison. Last week, he was ordered to be deported to India. Meanwhile, another parent who's pushed for changes says this is a step back and it hurts.
I get that they're trying to bring in more workers because of the need, but at what cost is my question. At what cost to the public safety?
Carol Bronze would like to see all foreign workers to go through mandatory training or testing that proves they know Saskatchewan laws. She also wants to see a national Red Seal licensing system, which would get all jurisdictions to agree on certain regulations and set a standard across the country. Aishwarya Duda, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Premier Scott Moe says he wants Saskatchewan to join a lawsuit filed by the Newfoundland and Labrador government. The lawsuit challenges the federal Equalization program. The program is meant to ensure each province has enough money to provide the same level of public services. But some provinces have complained the program has been unfair since it was first introduced decades ago. That includes Saskatchewan when Lauren Calvert was premier in the early 2000s. The opposition NDP says Moe trying to intervene now doesn't make sense.
It's been all hypocrisy, no delivery when it comes to equalization and a fair deal for Saskatchewan. It was this Sask Party government that dropped the very lawsuit that was going to deliver fiscal fairness for Saskatchewan people 16 years ago.
The NDP says Saskatchewan had a chance to lead the charge on equalization. If elected, the NDP says it would file its own lawsuit and work with other provinces to challenge equalization. The inquest into the death of a 14-year-old has come to an emotional end. The 3-day-long inquest took place in Regina, almost a decade after the teen was found dead. Alexander Kwan has more.
All right, thank you.
Wearing an orange Every Child Matters shirt, an emotional Rochelle Dubois hugged her friends and family last night, celebrating a moment she has been waiting for more than 9 years.
I don't expect a lot from Saskatchewan or Canadian government, but I will take the wins. And this is a win for me because it proves that I was not lying and I was telling the truth.
After 3 days of testimony, the jury returned with its findings last night. On May 20th, 2015, Rochelle's 14-year-old son, Haven Dubois, died from drowning at this creek in the east of Regina. The jury ruled the manner of death was undetermined. It goes against a coroner's report issued later in 2015, which concluded Haven's death was an accidental drowning. For Rochelle, the decision justifies her long search for answers.
Changing it to undetermined takes out that accidental piece that they were pushing for, which I knew was not true from the beginning. Like I said, I don't expect a lot from our broken system, but our system is broken.
The inquest heard that police quickly ruled Haven's death an accident, and the Regina Police Service's Major Crimes Unit didn't begin investigating until 2016. That was months after Haven's death. A police investigator confirmed they received the file only after Rochelle went public with her concerns, including her decision to camp outside the Regina Police Service headquarters, demanding a meeting with the chief. Police and the coroner's service never found evidence there was foul play in Haven's death, but the family's legal team says the jury's decision was the right one.
There's obviously still a lot of unanswered questions, which the jury heard about today, which I'm sure played into the factor of it being undeterminable.
It's not clear what will happen next. Lawyers representing the coroner's service declined to speak with media, but Haven Dubois' family says the decision feels like a small measure of justice. Alexander Kwan, CBC News, Regina.
People with diverse needs in Regina now have more affordable and accessible housing. The ribbon was cut on 4 new townhomes today. The 3-bedroom units are in Regina's Rosewood Park neighborhood. They can house up to 8 people who have mental health and physical disabilities. They'll also receive in-home supports and connection to community programs through Creative Options Regina.
We are grateful for the partnerships, our partnerships with the Government of Saskatchewan, partnerships with the City of Regina, and our partnerships with the National Affordable Housing Corporation to be able to create this project and help bring it to reality, but more so to create a home for the 8 people who have recently moved into this new housing complex.
All 3 levels of government, plus the National Affordable Housing Corporation, provided money for construction of the units. Regina City Councillors are set to vote on buying property to convert it into a permanent emergency homeless shelter. City Council's Executive Committee approved a plan yesterday to spend $7.5 million on a permanent space. Councillors know the proposed location. City staff told them in a private session, but the location won't be made public until the final decision is made. The plan comes nearly a year after Regina Police forcibly removed a tent encampment in front of City Hall.
We saw this issue and the lack of response to it come to our very front yard last year. We had a bunch of unhoused people on our front yard. That wasn't great for local businesses. That wasn't great for the City of Regina. There are very pragmatic financial reasons to take this step in addition to the sort of charitable ones.
If Council gives final approval, the federal and provincial governments would contribute $6 million, with the city covering the rest. A final vote is expected at next month's City Council meeting. Saskatchewan teachers are once again voting on a tentative collective agreement, and it's one the Saskatchewan Teachers Federation is endorsing. The latest proposal includes salary increases, new money, and new measures to address the main sticking point, classroom complexity. An internal document sent to teachers says a ministerial task force would be created to help find solutions. Teachers, students, parents, and members of the government and STF would also be a part of it. We will bring you results of the vote and reaction to it tomorrow. Saskatoon will be getting a new library after all. This after plans for a revamp of the city's downtown branch were paused back about a year after construction bids came in far over budget. A new design plan has now been approved and a groundbreaking ceremony is set to happen next month. The library's interim CEO says despite the redesign, most of the building's key features are being preserved. That includes a commercial kitchen, an auditorium, and maker space for art projects. The new facility is set to be finished in 2027. Well, 2 Saskatoon bikeways will hopefully be a bit safer this summer. The speed limit on the 2 roads with the bike lanes will be reduced to 30 kilometers an hour. That includes 23rd Street West between Vancouver Avenue North and Avenue C North, and 14th Street East between Saskatchewan Crescent East and Cumberland Avenue. The change goes into effect July 5th, and the city says both routes will have signs with the new posted speed limit. Stay with us. We're back after the break.
The weather update is brought to you by Capital Ford Lincoln. Truck time is on now.
Welcome back. Our weather specialist Tyreek Reed joining us now. And Ty, the image behind you there pretty much summing up what we're seeing again today.
Exactly, Ethan. Yes, lots of active weather throughout the province today. You know, Environment Canada even issuing some rainfall warnings in Pelican Narrows. This has actually been issued since 4 a.m. this morning, and it's still here. We even had some thunderstorm warnings issued in parts of southern Saskatchewan today. Those have since ended, but we can still see more of that as the day goes on because of this low pressure system that we're seeing in southern Saskatchewan. That's making its way northeast into the province, where it'll continue to head into tomorrow morning as well. Now, all of this active weather and all of this low pressure is causing some very, unseasonal temperatures in the province today. I mean, just look at the difference here in the north. Our friends in Stony Rapids seeing quite seasonal temperatures there, but down south in areas like Regina and Saskatoon, well below seasonal. We should be around 21 degrees this time of the year, but we're only sitting at 11. And of course, that's making it feel a lot more chillier because of the winds that we are feeling today. Now, this system that we are tracking will continue to move into the north, and that will continue tomorrow as well. As that begins to spread, we could even see some light snow mixed in there as well. But this system will finally begin to make its way out of the province on Saturday, where we'll be met with a lot more clearing and a lot more settled weather, as you can see here. Now, we were also met with a lot of rainfall, of course, throughout much of the province, not just in the south or in the northeast. The northeast is where we'll see a lot of that accumulation as time goes on, seeing about 20 millimeters over there. Now, wind speeds were quite high today in Saskatchewan. Down south, we saw wind gusts near 50 kilometers an hour here in Regina. And that will continue as we head into tomorrow as well, as this low pressure system continues to make its way north. Some spots will even see wind gusting near 60 kilometers an hour. But as we head into the weekend, we could be met with more seasonal temperatures here in Regina, looking at a daytime high of 23 degrees on Saturday. Still being met with a lot of precipitation as the days goes on, but still seeing a lot of that seasonal weather make its way back in. And also in Saskatoon, a lot drier temperatures here. As we head into the week ahead, that's when we start to see that precipitation make its way back in. But of course, still seeing seasonal temperatures here in Saskatoon as the day goes on and as we head further into June, getting closer and closer to summer even.
Yeah, exactly. And liking the sunshine and the 20-degree temperatures for Saturday. The wind, not so much.
Not so much, yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, Tyreek.
No problem.
I don't want to take over the world. I'm just here to have fun and make you laugh or offend you.
What else do you like to do?
I like making fun of humans and insulting them. What else do you want to know?
Yes, that is a reporter interviewing a robot at an AI conference in Geneva. AI for Good is a UN-led summit looking at harnessing the technology to improve people's lives. It's being used to develop prosthetic limbs with improved dexterity. Four-legged robots can assist visually impaired people navigate the streets. And on a lighter note, a group of students competed in a Robo Cup, a robotic soccer match. It's a way to demonstrate complex movement and real-time problem solving. We'll be back after the break. Donald Trump is now a convicted felon. A New York jury found the former U.S. president guilty on all charges in his hush money trial. Jurors reached the verdict after more than 5 weeks of considering evidence and hearing testimony. CBC's Chris Reyes reports.
For the first time in American history, a former president has been convicted of criminal charges. After about 10 hours of deliberations over 2 days, a jury of 12 New Yorkers has found Donald Trump guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business records in connection to hush money payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels and others ahead of the 2016 presidential election. In court, the verdict was read by the jury foreperson, and then one by one, each juror was asked to confirm their verdict. After reading their decision, the jury left the courtroom without looking at Trump. Trump spoke briefly and walked off with his team without taking any questions.
This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people, and they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here.
Outside the courthouse, reaction as soon as the verdict came out.
We're still going to vote for Trump. We're still voting for Trump. It doesn't change much.
I did not think that this was actually going to happen, and I can't believe it. It's about time he was held accountable for something.
The judge has set Trump's sentencing for July 11, just days before the Republican National Convention, where he will become their party's official presidential nominee. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
A hacking group claims it has stolen the personal data of millions of Ticketmaster users around the world. The group is said to be demanding ransom in return for not selling the information. The data reportedly includes addresses, phone numbers, and partial credit card details of more than 500 million customers. Scott Peterson has the details.
This is potentially the personal financial data of 560 million people around the world being affected by this hack with Ticketmaster, and a lot of people storing their personal information there with their credit card information, all potentially vulnerable to hackers and thieves out there. Now, this first came reported from Australian authorities, and they say they're working directly with Ticketmaster and with U.S. authorities as far as trying to get to the bottom of this problem and what exactly happened here. But these are the details that we do know. A hacker group called Shiny Hunters, they're reportedly demanding $700,000 Canadian in ransom. This is a high-profile hacking group. They're known for going against big corporations like Microsoft and AT&T, and people should be warned that if you've dealt with Ticketmaster, your name, address, phone number, partial payment information, including the last 4 digits of your credit card, the expiration date, all sensitive information potentially in the hands of hackers. The U.S. Embassy spokesperson also involved here, saying the FBI is offering assistance and they're engaging with Ticketmaster to, quote, understand the incident. And this is not the first time Ticketmaster has been hacked by thieves. This happened with Taylor Swift and her Eras tour as well, having a cyber attack, having delayed ticket sales there. And Australia, again, was the first to report this situation, but this is a worldwide phenomena. I've got calls out as well to Ticketmaster in Canada to find out how many Canadian customers are also affected. Scott Peterson, CBC News, Toronto.
And Tyreek is back with one last look at our forecast.
Thank you, Ethan. Yes, so we were met with showers earlier today in Regina. Could see more of that as we head into tonight as well. Heading into tomorrow morning, much drier conditions with mainly sunny skies. But as we head further into the afternoon, of course, that's when those showers might move back in with a chance of thunderstorms. And of course, we're going to want to watch out for those wind gusts. They will be quite strong again tomorrow. In Saskatoon, we could see those showers again tonight as well, but things start to get a lot more drier in Saskatoon tomorrow. And as we head into the afternoon, that's when we start to see a lot more seasonal temperatures getting closer to that daytime high of 18 degrees. Ethan?
All right, thank you so much, Tyreek.
No problem.
And before we leave you tonight, the Poltava Ensemble is a part Ukrainian dancing ensemble and part orchestra. It's been around for over 100 years, and they'll be a big part of the Poltava Ukrainian Pavilion during Mosaic in Regina, which is underway right now. We have a taste now of what you can expect from them.
I have a friend who texts me sometimes, messaging me and said, like, can you pray for us? We're under shelling. That was hard. It's just hard to hear that. My name is Natalia Kosheleva, and I'm a member of Poltava Orchestra. In 2015, my husband found a job in Canada and moved here. And in 2016, me and two our kids joined him here. That was a surprise, and honestly, I didn't want to come. At first, I was pretty happy to live in Ukraine. When we first came here, like the people who met my husband here, like Ukrainians who lived here before, somehow, I don't know even how they connected. So they had a connection with the Poltava orchestras, orchestra and musicians or some conductors. So they introduced me, they brought me here, and it was 2 months, I think, before Mosaic. So it was kind of hard because a lot of music I needed to learn, like new stuff, new music. When we were in the tour last August, when we were in the tour in Portugal and Spain, we met some refugees, Ukrainian refugees who fled from the war and lived there. And when they seen us, they cried. You know, as soon as they didn't even hear what we played, but as soon as they see the costumes, when we walked by, they cried and burst in tears, and that was very special. Of course, they hug us. Of course, they met us. Of course, like, hey, you're Ukrainians, and we're so happy to see you. The Ukrainian culture is so deep and so beautiful, and the music is so nice, and it's good that that music will be well known and cherish and understand and support it.
And that is it for us tonight. For news anytime, you can head to our website, subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel, or download the CBC News app. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.